Good morning, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. It's Tuesday, August 19th, 2025, and this is your AM update.
President Zelensky, you look fabulous in that suit. You look good.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky ditches the combat clothing, receiving a warm welcome at the White House as President Trump attempts to advance a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine.
Mail-in ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots.
President Trump announcing plans to crack down on mail-in ballots. And new details emerging in the mysterious disappearance of 7-month-old California baby Emmanuel Haro. We spoke with investigators on the status of their search. All that and more coming up in just a moment on your AM update. As President Trump is settling into his new administration, one of the top Democrats in Congress aiming to undermine the Trump agenda is Democrat Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois. And according to our sponsor, the Electronic Payments Coalition, Senator Durbin has a new plan, a government takeover of your credit card. Today, Americans have thousands of choices in credit cards, but they say Senator Durbin's plan will result in less competition and less security, which means more risk for your credit and your identity. You can learn more for yourself at guardyourcard.com. And you could consider telling your senators to stop Dick Durbin's government takeover of your credit card before it's too late. President Trump hosting Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and several other European leaders at the White House yesterday. A high-stakes gathering aimed at making sure all stakeholders are on the same page in pursuit of peace with Russia, marked by a notably warmer tone than Zelensky's last meeting with Mr. Trump. The Oval Office meeting in February between Presidents Trump and Zelensky and Vice President J.D. Vance collapsing into conflict. At one point, a reporter then suggesting Mr. Zelensky's trademark wartime outfit, a polo shirt and military-style trousers, was a sign of disrespect in an Oval Office meeting. The Ukrainian leader arriving at the White House Monday, sporting a black jacket, black shirt, and black pants. That same reporter, Brian Glenn of Real America's Voice, from the Oval, getting right to the elephant in the room.
President Zelensky, you look fabulous in that suit.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, you look good.
I said the same thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice? That's the one that attacked you last time. See, now he's... I remember that.
This time around, pressed by Fox News' Peter Doocy on which side holds the better cards, President Trump striking a more diplomatic tone.
Is this the end of the road for American support for Ukraine? Is today's meeting deal or no deal?
I can never say that. It's never the end of the road. People are being killed, and we want to stop that. So I would not say it's the end of the road. No, I think we have a good chance of doing it.
As you listen to Russia and Ukraine, which side has the better cards?
Well, I don't want to say that. I'm just here to be. Look, this isn't my war. This is Joe Biden's war. He's the one that had a lot to do with this happening, and we want to get it ended.
In Ukraine, no election can be held during martial law, which has been in effect since Russia's 2022 invasion. Mr. Zelensky saying he is open to holding elections once peace is reached. President Trump following up with this quip.
So you say during the war you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now. So you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections? Oh, that's good. I wonder what the fake. You like this idea? Yeah.
That moment quickly going viral, many on the right noting the obvious humor, some on the left falling for it hook, line, and sinker. Democratic influencer Brian Krasenstein posting on X, quote, "He does this on the world stage as we try to get a dictator to stop invading a foreign nation. Sickening." Following a meeting between President Trump's cabinet and President Zelensky, the two leaders joined by the German Chancellor, French President, British Prime Minister, Italian Prime Minister, Finnish President, European Commission President, and Secretary General of NATO for more talks. A key subject of discussion, what, if any, future military guarantees the U.S. is willing to provide? President Trump not ruling out the possibility of using U.S. troops to ensure the lasting defense of Ukraine. European leaders stressing the need for an immediate ceasefire before moving on to more in-depth negotiations with Russia. President Trump with a frank response.
All of us would obviously prefer an immediate ceasefire while we work on a lasting peace, and maybe something like that could happen. As of this moment, it's not happening, but President Zelensky and President Putin can talk a little bit more about that.
European leaders heaping praise on the president before the extended meeting.
We are very happy with President that all the leaders are here, and the security in Ukraine depends on the United States and on you.
After 3 years and a half that we didn't see any kind of sign from the Russian side that there was a willing for dialogue. So something is changing, something has changed, thanks to you.
In the past 2 weeks, we've probably had more progress in ending this war than we have in the past 3.5 years.
I really want to thank you, President of the United States, dear Donald, for the fact that you, as I said before, broke the deadlock, basically, with President Putin by starting that dialogue.
President Trump posting to Truth Social last night, quote, "At the conclusion of the meetings, I called President Putin and began the arrangements for a meeting at a location to be determined between President Putin and President Zelensky. After that meeting takes place, we will have a trilat, which would be the two presidents plus myself." Again, this was a very good early step for a war that has been going on for almost 4 years. Coming up, President Trump moves to crack down on mail-in ballots. And we have the latest details on the disappearance of 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro, as authorities are not ruling out the parents as suspects. We'll have a full report. I've been talking a lot lately about Riverbend Ranch, and that's because I love their steaks. Riverbend Ranch has taken Black Angus beef to a whole new level. For the last 35 years, Riverbend Ranch has been creating a very elite Angus herd by using ultrasound to select genetically superior cattle with a focus on flavor and tenderness. When you buy from Riverbend Ranch, you are not only supporting the 64 cowboys and cowgirls and their families who work on the ranch, but you're also supporting over 260 other U.S. ranches and the hundreds of American families who work on those ranches. It is born in the USA, raised in the USA, and processed in the USA. It is aged to perfection for 21 days and shipped directly from the ranch to your home. This is not your average Black Angus beef. So order from riverbendranch.com and use the promo code Megyn for $20 off your first order. And let me know what you think. riverbendranch.com, promo code Megyn. President Trump announcing a new election integrity effort Monday morning on Truth Social in a lengthy post reading in part, quote, "I am going to lead a movement to get rid of mail-in ballots. And also, while we're at it, highly inaccurate, very expensive, and seriously controversial voting machines, which cost 10 times more than accurate and sophisticated watermark paper, which is faster and leaves no doubt at the end of the evening as to who won and who lost the election." Mail-in ballots becoming a flashpoint during the 2020 election, as many states reacted to the pandemic by expanding mail-in ballot and absentee voting access. The rapid changes to the systems accompanied by reports of voters receiving multiple ballots, ballots sent to the wrong addresses, ballots left in unsecured ballot boxes, and more, all fueling ongoing debate about security, oversight, and integrity in the system. Post-COVID, most states reverting back to pre-pandemic policies, though some did adopt mail-based election systems. According to the nonpartisan National Conference of State Legislatures, an organization that provides research and policy support, quote, "At the start of 2020, 5 states conducted elections almost entirely by mail. By the 2022 general election, 8 states did. The 3 newest, California, Nevada, and Vermont, all blue in 2020. A June report by the U.S. Election Assistance Commission submitted to Congress states, quote, "Mail voting comprised 30.3% of the turnout for the 2024 election, which is down from the high watermark for mail voting seen in 2020, 43% then, but still larger than the percentage of the electorate that voted by mail in pre-pandemic elections." Mr. Trump going on to say he plans to sign an executive order to bring honesty and integrity to the 2026 midterm elections, though the timeline and more details on what the order will entail are unclear. The latest effort following a March executive order attempting to require proof of citizenship to vote, ban the counting of ballots received after Election Day, and add more federal oversight of state voter rolls. The order threatening to withhold federal election funding to non-compliant states. Many of the provisions in that order blocked by multiple judges in several lawsuits. On Monday from the Oval, President Trump suggesting White House lawyers are adapting to the legal challenges resulting from that March executive order.
Mail-in ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. And we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt. And we're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud. If you have mail-in vote, even Jimmy Carter with this commission, they set it up. He said the one thing about mail-in voting, you will never have an honest election if you have mail-in. And it's time that the Republicans get tough and stop it because the Democrats want it. It's the only way they can get elected because with men and women's sports and with transgender for everybody and open borders.
Mr. Trump referencing former President Jimmy Carter's 2005 Commission on Federal Election Reform. The committee finding, quote, while the commission is divided on the magnitude of voter fraud, with some believing the problem is widespread and others believing that it is minor, there is no doubt that it occurs. Absentee ballots remain the largest source of potential voter fraud. The report also finding voting by mail-in ballot, quote, raises concerns about privacy, as citizens voting at home may come under pressure to vote for certain candidates, and it increases the risk of fraud. President Trump's campaign to eliminate mail-in ballots potentially bolstered by a string of recent indictments tied to absentee ballot and vote-by-mail fraud. Last month in South Texas, a grand jury indicting 15 suspects, including the former chair of the Bexar County Democratic Party, in a vote harvesting probe led by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, tied to a 2024 state house campaign. In Connecticut this February, 5 people, including Democrat political operatives, indicted on ballot tampering allegations regarding a 2023 local election. As with the March executive order, any move President Trump makes on election integrity is almost certain to face immediate legal challenges, setting up yet another courtroom battle ahead of the 2026 midterms. The San Bernardino Sheriff's Department confirming to AM Update that no one, including the parents, has been ruled out in the case of missing 7-month-old California baby Emmanuel Haro. Many questions now surround the infant's disappearance. Emmanuel's mother, Rebecca Haro, telling authorities on Thursday evening she was at a football game with her family, saying she left the game to get her stepson a mouth guard, taking the baby along for the ride. Rebecca claiming she arrived at the Big 5 sporting goods store and realized Emmanuel needed a diaper change, saying she put him on the back seat of the truck, and that's when she allegedly heard one word, "Hola," and was hit on the head, blacking out. Rebecca, speaking to ABC7 with a black eye on Friday, claiming she had the shiner when she came to in the parking lot, that there she realized her baby was gone, saying she never saw the attacker, nor his car or license plate.
And somebody said, "Hola," and that's all I remember. And I saw white. And a hearing sound, I fell on the floor. And I said, as I got up, I couldn't find my son. I checked around my truck. And I ran into Big 5. And I asked the lady if she saw a baby or someone with a baby. She said no. It was a happy boy.
When police pressed Rebecca about what they describe as inconsistencies in her story, investigators say she stopped cooperating, officials declining to elaborate on those inconsistencies. Rebecca's mother later confirming this husband and wife lawyered up, telling the press police requested that Rebecca take a lie detector test, which the husband advised against until the couple found an attorney. Reportedly, there is no security camera footage from the Big 5 parking lot, but investigators tell AM Update they have gathered, quote, a great deal of video footage from the area and are reviewing it. Authorities confirming canine units, believed to be cadaver dogs, were deployed to the Haro home. A KTLA journalist reporting that investigators had been spotted digging up parts of the property. While police did confirm another child, a 2-year-old, was previously removed from this family's home, authorities refusing to provide details. Riverside County Child and Family Services declining to comment, citing confidentiality laws. As AM Update reported on Monday, the baby's father, Jake, previously convicted of child cruelty stemming from a 2018 arrest. He was sentenced to 6 months in jail and 4 years of probation, which authorities say he violated. Jake asking for the public's help in the hours after baby Emmanuel disappeared.
Whoever took my son, please return him. We just want him back. We won't do anything to you. We just give us our son. Just keep him safe. Don't hurt him. Make sure you feed him, change him.
Authorities have yet to activate an Amber Alert, saying the criteria has not been met with no suspect nor any vehicle description. Baby Emmanuel weighs about 21 pounds, is approximately 24 inches tall, with brown hair, brown eyes, and is said to be cross-eyed. He was last seen wearing a black Nike onesie. Anyone with information about Emmanuel's disappearance is asked to call 911 or the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department at 909-890-4904. And that'll do it for your AM update. I'm Megyn Kelly. Join me back here for the Megyn Kelly Show live on SiriusXM Triumph Channel 111 at noon East, on youtube.com/Megyn Kelly, and on all podcast platforms.